Hi everyone, it's Ashley with Go and Crochet, and I am so excited to finally bring this thought process to you guys. So for every month, I had planned to feature a crochet pattern designer that I love to make patterns from. So each month will be a different pattern designer showcasing some of their designs that they have made, so you guys can get a little bit more information on how their patterns work to decide whether you want to make a pattern from one of these artists or not. I thought this would be a really fun thing to do, just to spread some more information for the community of crochet pattern designers, and also just to share my love for each one of these designers. And so each month it will be a different designer, as I said just a minute ago, and a bunch of their designs that I have created over the time. So I've been spending a lot of my week making some patterns from this specific creator. So the first one that I'm sharing with you guys for the new year 2025 is a Friendly Red Fox. I love her work. I've been making a bunch of her patterns. I think I've done at least 10 of her patterns. She has quite a bit. You can get a lot of these patterns for free right on her website, or you can purchase them off of Etsy and maybe off of her website as well. But I really love how she has this website that you can just scroll through all of her patterns to choose which one you want. A lot of her older patterns are of the worsted weight size yarn, but if you go through her newer patterns, it's all the plushy yarn, which is really cool. So you have a mix depending on what kind of yarn you like to use. So maybe if you prefer cotton yarn, you can go to her older patterns, and if you prefer plushy yarn, which is the newer, like more fashionable way of making plushies these days, then you can go to her newer patterns, and she's always creating new patterns. I think one of the newest patterns she's actually created is this little moose. And if you've seen my videos before, you know that I love this moose, and I probably made like 6 to 10 of these moose, and this is no exception. I just love this guy. I just made him recently because I wanted to showcase him for this video, and I didn't want to just share a picture. I wanted to show you guys in true time, in a true life size, what they look like. So I used Posh yarn for this guy and an 18mm eye because I don't have any other sizes other than like 8mm and down or 18mm and up. I am waiting for some of those safety eyes to come into stock, but they haven't come yet. So I made this little guy. He is one of my favorite things to do. He's a great shelf sitter, and he's pretty cool and easy to work up. The only thing with the Friendly Red Fox's patterns that I've noticed is every single one of them you're gonna have to sew something on. Some of them are less and some of them are more. So if you don't like sewing, then maybe stay clear of certain patterns, because there is a lot of sewing involved in her patterns, which I don't have an issue with. I love the look of the finished creations, so I don't mind sewing them on in the end. With this one, you have to sew the legs, the arms, the nose, the ears, and the antlers. But honestly, he's so little and cute. It's not horrendous to do. So this is the moose pattern. I think it's like a squishy moose, maybe is what it's called. I always call it the dangly moose. But of course, all of the links and patterns are going to be down below. But if you just type in the Friendly Red Fox into your web browser, it'll pop up and it will give you a long list of all her information, and it's so glorious and easy to work through all of her patterns. That's one of the reasons I picked her as my first one, because she's so easy to access and her stuff is so cute. So this is pattern number 1 that I did for this week. I have, I believe, 8 to show you guys. So this is number 1. Moving on to number 2. Did you guys just hear Tracker? He just made the biggest snore. All right, moving on to pattern number 2. I love this little guy. So this is the teddy bear squish or teddy bear plush or teddy bear friend, something like that. Can't remember the specific name. Down below, links, of course. And so I loved this guy. I actually used Premier Basics chenille for this one in the color Rust, I believe. Super cute, super quick. Once again, you do have to sew the arms and the ears on. The legs are worked up and it brings you into the head, and then you close it off at the head. Then you just sew, and you sew the muzzle on as well. I actually embroidered some eyes on this guy. I want more things that have embroidered eyes. And another thing I like about her patterns is she will show you the embroidered eye option versus the safety eye option, which is really cool. So you can see what both of them look like and you can make the decision from there before you continue on. Super cute, and I really liked this one as well. Another thing I've noticed with some of her patterns is that they aren't super specific, say placement of eyes, or super specific of placement of arms or added antlers or anything like that. So sometimes you just have to do a guessing game. It's pretty clear most of the time, but maybe some of the older ones aren't as specific, which I don't mind because I like to make that judgment for myself. Although sometimes if it's a very specific looking pattern, I want details. I will show you that in the next one I show you for the eye placement, because I think I ended up putting them too close together, but we'll show you in just a second. Here's her alien pattern. Isn't that cute? I opted for larger eyes because I feel like aliens typically have that larger eye look. I also used Premier Chenille for this one. And you sew on the arms and the antennas for this guy. Isn't he so cool? I really like him. It doesn't call for a mouth or anything. I like it just the eyeballs. I could have even gone bigger with these eyes, but I didn't have just straight up black and 30 millimeter, so I went for the 24 millimeter. I think he would have been really cool with the 30 millimeter though. I only had one 30 millimeter. Don't know where the other one went, unfortunately. But this is one of the fun little patterns. So you work from the feet, so you do the 2 feet and then you connect it together, work up to the head, do the arms and everything. And that is that guy. All of these were in, I think, a 4 millimeter hook. Now, this is one I want to show you based off of placement. So this is one of her squishies. So she has like pals and friends and then squishies and then dolls. And so I'm trying to make them all within the same type of category. So we're moving on to the squishy category. So this is the Giraffe squishy, which is super cute. But as you can see, I'm not sure I like the eye placement. I feel like they're too close together and I should have separated them a little bit further. But it didn't really have a specific eye placement. And so that is why they are kind of close together. I might have had a specific eye placement for the safety eyes, but I kind of just guessed at it. I may actually pull these eyes out and try again, but just thinking about doing that kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies because I don't really love embroidering. I'm not great at it yet, so I'm working on getting better at it. But to like pull it out and redo it, I'm like, maybe it's good enough. I don't know. So I'm working on it. Also, I think with this one, so you have the legs, the arms, the muzzle, the ears, and the ossicones for this one to sew on. So there's a lot of sewing on this one. And then you lightly stuff the center here. So you really tightly stuff the head, but you lightly stuff the center. So you got that little squishiness going onto it. So it's like in between a lovey and a plushie. So you got that, you know, is less stuffing, so you can kind of do this stuff with it, which I think was really cute ideas, a squishy instead of a plushie. But yeah, there's a lot of things you have to sew on, and so placement can get a little off on things like this. So just have that in mind when you are be making one of her patterns, that check the pattern beforehand to make sure there's not a lot of sewing if you don't want to have like a sewing type of day, and pick patterns that have less sewing involved. But he is, once again, super cute. I love how all of these patterns have turned out, to be honest with you, other than like the eyes and stuff like that. I think they definitely turn out to look like she has them in the picture. So quick, easy. This one was super quick to make. This is the little axolotl squishy. I think I might have stuffed him a little too much in the body. He has less squishiness than the giraffe does, but his head is nice and firm. My son actually picked out the colors for this guy. I told him I was making an axolotl, and he said, can you make it cotton candy? And she also has an axolotl lovey, which I was actually wanting to make the lovey more, but he asked me to make the squishy, so I went ahead and made the squishy instead. I probably will make a lovey after this, but here is the little axolotl squishy, sewing on the legs, the arms, and the little fins of the head fins. And I added some safety eyes to this one just because I thought it would be cuter. And so some little detailing with that teal color, just to give it a little bit more accent color in the head. This one turned out pretty cute though, I think. And super easy. These are all super easy. That's why I am showing you guys these, because I really do love her patterns, even though you have to sew a lot. This sweet little doll, I felt like she reminded me of like Cinderella. So maybe like a Cinderella baby theme here was what I was going for with this one. And so I did embroider her eyes on here. And once again, this is one where I didn't really have very super specific placement of embroidered eyes. And so I think I put them a little bit too close together as well, but I'm getting a little bit better at the embroidery with this girl versus the giraffe, I feel like. And I like this one because she's sitting, so she can sit on her own, and it will be like a nice little piece if you are doing a market and you want one sitting up on its own. I thought that would be a really sweet doll to have available. And she has like a little diaper underwear on, and then her little frilly dress. You do have to sew on the legs, the arms, the hair, the bun, and then you do like a surface crochet of the skirt. And it calls for you to sew these straps on as well, but I literally just surface crocheted those. And and then you have to sew the head, the hair on, of course, and then the bun on, and then you just add that little bow at the end to give it a little bit extra, you know, pizzazz. I actually sewed my bow on so that it will be staying in place. It won't be popping off, so it is completely set in there. It will not be coming off, but you can make that removable or not. But once again, super cute, super simple, maybe a little bit longer time to create them because of the sewing, but I mean, come on, you can't like those results. It's worth sewing with those types of results. Yes, you could probably figure out how to crochet the arms, especially into the body, but I wanted to stay true to her patterns for this video, just so I could make sure to give you guys my true, honest opinions. And she turned out pretty cute. I'm not mad at her at all. Now, I did this one a little while back, but I've actually done a couple of these mermaids, and they're so cute as well. Once again, do you sew them, these? I can't remember if you sew the fins on, or I'm pretty sure you sew the fins on, the arms on, the hair on, and then this piece as well. But once again, super cute turnout. It's worth it when you get something sweet like this. I believe she has this long wavy hair option or a bun option. As you can see, I was kind of going for a certain little mermaid aesthetic with these color options when I was making this. So I chose the long hair option. She turned out super cute. Another thing I really like about the Friendly Red Fox's patterns is within the patterns, she has this option. You can make a neck strengthener for these. So at the beginning of each pattern, she tells you to make a neck strengthener before you even start the pattern. And she gives you the details on how to make that. So if you want to put something in the neck so that it's not flopping around, then you can. As you can see, her head is nice and firm. And then this optional, of course, but when it comes to, you know, dolls that are going to be standing up straight and everything, you kind of like to have that for kids, so their heads aren't kind of flopping over to the sides. So she has that. And then she also does have a lot of like, this is how I sew. Click this link so that you can see my video of how I do it. So those are really nice too. Makes it a little bit easier if you are new to sewing. She will show you how she does it in a video so that you can go in and refer to those at any point that you want. I personally don't do those because I've been doing this for a while now, but if you are struggling with anything, you can always go into those links. It's just one click away if you're looking at the pattern on your phone or on your computer, tablet, laptop, whatever you're using, whatever device you're using. So she also has that PDF pattern. So if you are more of a printed pattern kind of person, you can go in and buy the PDF and support her a little bit by buying the pattern versus getting it for free, which I really like. I really believe in supporting other designers. That's why I'm doing this video, because it's all about supporting the community of designers and everything else. And so, you know, paying that little bit of money to buy the pattern, have it printed off without any ads or anything like that, a printer-friendly version, is a nice way to be able to do these patterns too. You can take them on the go, maybe if you are going somewhere and you just don't want to use your device. But here is that little little mermaid, I can't remember what it's called, mermaid plush maybe. And so there's that. The last pattern I did, I definitely wanted to do a lovey because she has a lot of loveys. She has a lot of squishies too. There's a bunch of other squishies I want to do, like a Highland cow and a hippo and a bear and all kinds. She has so many patterns. It's like you can go in there and find whatever you want to find because she has so many. But I definitely wanted to do a lovey, and so I chose to do this guy. So I made him in my Premier Basics Chenille yarn that I got. This is all of that yarn. If you watched my video about my is it worth it buying the ends of the lot from Premier, so you can go back into my videos and find a yarn haul where it says right on the like thumbnail, is it worth it to buy the lot ends? These are some of the lot ends that I used, and so very beautiful colors. I think this one is really beautiful to me. I embroidered the eyes. I'm really happy with how these eyes turned out versus any of my other ones. So I was most proud of these eyes. And then it has the wings and the tail and everything else, and I really enjoyed this. And of course you got that floppy head, but she has really good details on how to sew it on and everything. Lots of sewing with this one again. So you make the legs and then you crochet it up to the top of the neck, and then you sew on the arms, the ears, the horns, this sweet little frill of spikes, and then the wings. I really like this pattern, but I'm not the happiest with how my wings turned out. I don't know if I put them down too low or something. It just wasn't my favorite how the wings turned out. But other than that, I loved everything else. Oh yes, you also have to sew this piece on. And then I like how she has details on, like, you know, knot it before, knot it after. She gives you all those details in the pattern so that you're not missing any steps. You know, she has when to put the nostrils, when to add the eyes, when to sew everything on. So when you go through each pattern, at the end of what she has it structured out so that you start off with the main piece and then you're adding pieces on as you go, and you can sew as you go, so it doesn't feel like such a daunting task at the end. So if you just follow it step by step, it will lead you through, guide you through. And I mean, come on, who doesn't love a little dragon snuggler, right? She also has the snuggler and the axolotl, like I said a little bit earlier, that I really want to make. So I probably will do these same colors, but in a lovey style, so it will turn out like this. Now this was called a mini snuggler. She also has some patterns that the snugglers seem to be like much larger. I didn't want to do a super large snuggler for this one in particular. I wanted something smaller and quicker so I could get this video out sooner than later. But she does have like a bear that I really want to do, a bunny, like all these really big snugglers that I thought just were super sweet. I'm not one to make a ton of snugglers just because they don't sell as well for me at markets, but I did want to bring more snugglers into my array of inventory. So this is the beginning, and I definitely will be doing some more of these because they are so sweet, and I will just have to come up with a better display for them. But those are all of the patterns that I have made from the Friendly Red Fox. I have made other patterns from her in the past. I just don't have them with me at the moment. They are, you know, off to their forever homes with other people. So I just wanted to show you guys what I have from these ones. And so I hope you enjoyed this video, maybe got a little bit more feedback of whether you want to try out some of her patterns or not. I say yes, give her a go. She's a great crochet pattern designer, and give her a little bit of support. And I'd love to see any finished products you get from her, and of course send them to her too so that she can see you guys creating all of these as well. But I really love all of these patterns, and there are so many more I want to make from her, so you will see some more of those in the future. But for now, I have to go and put these away, and I will talk to you guys on the next one. If you guys have a particular pattern designer that you would like to send to me to try out, or maybe if you are one yourself that you would think I would like your stuff and you'd like me to try out some of your stuff, make sure to let me know. Put down in the comments any designers that I can check out. I have a whole list of specific ones that I plan to do for the beginning of the year, but definitely if you are a newer designer or you know someone that's maybe a little bit newer, then I would definitely love to try out some patterns before, of course, I give a feature. But I would always love to do that because look at all of these beautiful plushies. You can't get better than this. It's like a bouquet of plushies on me right now. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to comment down below if you got all the way through this video with 3 thumbs up. So let's change it up a little bit. Do 3 thumbs up if you got all the way through this video to let me know that you did. Like, subscribe. I thank you all for joining in each and every time. I really appreciate all of you guys being here so that I can continue doing this. You guys give me so much motivation to continue, and I really love that because without you guys, I wouldn't be as motivated to make all of these plushies in like a week. So thank you guys for joining in. I will talk to you all next time. Bye.